Well, Virgo, Happy New Year for 2026. It's an important year. It's death, rebirth, and radical service. And that's not necessarily death in the physical sense. This can relate to the death of your old self. It's not a year for the faint of heart, and with some eclipses landing directly in your sign, actually twice this year, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction activating your 8th house of transformation, otherwise known as death, and the nodes shifting mid-year to completely reorient your karmic path. You're being asked by karma to die and be reborn. This is not a metaphorical statement. This is literally everything you thought you were, everything you've carefully organized and perfected is being completely dismantled. And that's so something realer can emerge. January to February, it's a journey into the underworld. The year opens with that North Node in Pisces relating to your karma, moving through your zone of partnerships, marriage, and others generally. While the past karma South Node occupies your sun sign. And this relates to your identity and your physical body. So I'd like you to pay attention carefully, Virgo. When the South Node is in your sign, basically the universe is asking you to let go of some of the fundamentals about how you've been operating. So the karmic assignment this year is clear. Stop trying to perfect yourself into worthiness and stop picking at yourself for every action until you become paralyzed. The South Node in your sign is releasing that perfectionist signature of Virgo, the analyzer in you, the one who believes that, if you can just get everything organized enough, controlled enough, and perfect enough, then you'll finally be safe. Well, actually you're being asked to let go of the micromanaging of your own existence. Meanwhile, the North Node in Pisces in your marital sector is calling you towards true partnership. Messy, imperfect, beautiful. This is where you need to surrender some control and trust someone else, supposedly the person that you love, to see you in all your glorious imperfection. Now, Jupiter continues its transit through Cancer. This is your 11th house of friendships and aspirations. So this is a really good transit because it indicates you're surrounded by a supportive community. Your social circle will expand, and these are normally what we would consider good types of people. Jupiter normally gives integrity. Something underneath all of this social activity, however, is stirring. On January 26, Neptune will enter Aries, and that starts a 14-year cycle through your 8th house, again the death, rebirth, and shared resources sector. This is where things get a little mystical and maybe even a little uncomfortable. Neptune in this 8th house dissolves the boundaries around intimacy. It's also to do with sex. It merges you with others in ways that feel both transcendent and at the same time a little terrifying, and forces you to confront everything you've kept hidden in the psychological basement. Your relationship with power, sex, money, and transformation is about to undergo complete spiritual recalibration. Some Virgos will deal with literal death, that is, inheritances, estates, or perhaps even the loss of someone significant. Some of you will experience a psychological death, the ending of old identities, the dissolution of control patterns, the surrender of the need to manage everything perfectly. Then Saturn's going to follow suit into Aries on February 13, and the underworld journey gets pretty structured at this point. Saturn in your 8th house for the next 2.5 years means you're building something through destruction, pulling it down to build it back up. This isn't random chaos, it's purposeful dismantling. And whatever you've been avoiding, whatever you've kept tidily compartmentalized and neat, again, your nature, is being dragged into the light for examination. Excuse me. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries takes place on February 20th. This is your descent into the underworld. This happens once every 36 years only, and it's happening in your house of transformation. So whatever emerges from these weeks, your psychological insights, financial revelations, intimacy breakthroughs, or confrontations with mortality needs to be integrated, not analyzed and dissected. Your brilliant Virgo mind wants to understand and categorize, but some experiences need to be felt and, at the end of the day, simply surrendered to. March to May, the first eclipse, relates to an identity release. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd is pretty important for you, and this is in your sun sign. This eclipse lands directly in your first house of identity and the physical side of your being. Something about who you are reaches a culmination or perhaps even a crisis point. You're being forced to release old versions of yourself that you've clung to long past the expiration date. Now, because it's the first house, the sun sign, this can show itself as health issues, and that's going to force some sort of lifestyle change, relationship dynamics that require you to show up differently, or simply an internal reckoning about whether you're living authentically or just performing your typical Virgo persona for everyone else's comfort. The perfectionism, that endless analysis, the need to be useful to the point of self-sacrifice is all up for examination under this eclipse, and something will break. And in that breaking, freedom can and will arrive. Jupiter continues expanding your friendships and community through spring. Professionally and socially, things are going well. Personally, you're being dismantled. The contrast is jarring, but at the same time, it's intentional. You're learning that external success means nothing if your internal world is in chaos. The spring equinox on March 20 finds you raw and very vulnerable, but also strangely liberated. Uranus enters Gemini permanently on April 25th. That moves into your 10th house of career, and that starts a 7-year revolution of your career. This can really shake things up for you, Virgo. Unexpected opportunities and sudden shifts in your professional landscape are coming, so you better get ready for it. You're being asked to innovate, experiment, and even abandon those old career scripts that you know in your heart of hearts don't fit any longer. June to July, Jupiter enters Leo. Now that's interesting because that's your 12th house. That's the zone of endings, spirituality, and preparation. It's spent a year expanding in Cancer, and now something different's going to happen. Complete reversal now. This could be a retreat, reflection, meditation, and some deep inner work. It's a preparation for what's coming. 12th house is I guess you'd call it the cosmic womb where transformation happens before birth. Jupiter in this transit is helping you process, release, and prepare for a significant rebirth that's brewing. Then on July 26th, the nodes shift again and your entire karmic direction pivots. North node enters Aquarius in your 6th house of health, work, and daily routines. South node enters Leo, again your 12th house of spirituality. This is a pretty significant reorientation. For the next 18 months, your soul's growth happens through establishing healthy daily routines, finding meaningful work, especially that work that serves others, without completely sacrificing or losing yourself in the process. Remember, you've got to take care of your physical body with the same compassion that you're offering a beloved friend. Meanwhile, you're releasing the South Node in Leo tendency to hide in spiritual bypassing, to use meditation or solitude as an excuse, to avoid messy work, that daily embodiment, or to make your suffering feel special or dramatic. Avoid all that stuff. You're being pulled back to earth, back into the physical body, and to simplify, back to those very down-to-earth, simple acts of service. But this time you don't need the martyrdom, you don't need the perfectionism, you don't need to kill yourself in that way, and you don't need to use work as a way to earn worthiness. That brings you to August and September, a second eclipse, and a chance for new beginnings. Before that nodal shift fully takes hold, you've got one more eclipse on the old axis, the total solar eclipse in Leo, on August 12, which falls in your, you got it, 12th house again, initiating that completely new spiritual chapter in your life. It's about committing to practices that are going to genuinely heal you, rather than just making you feel spiritually superior. Another partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28 falls in your marital sector, the zone of significant relationships. And that brings a close to the partnership focus in a way, and you've been developing that since the earlier part of 2025. This is the final eclipse in the Pisces sign eclipse cycle that affects your relationships. You're releasing the belief that relationships require you to be perfect, that love must be earned through somehow flawlessness. Well, you've got to understand that being human is sometimes messy in reality. The solar eclipse in Virgo on September 21 is your second eclipse in your sign this year. Let's check it. Actually, reviewing the eclipse data, there's no September eclipse in Virgo in 2020. The Virgo eclipse is only in March, so apologies for that. Let me correct this section. The month of September brings integration after the August eclipses. You're processing all of these changes and allowing the new spiritual commitments from Leo to settle in. Let those relationship completions from the Pisces eclipse integrate fully into your consciousness. The October-December period brings embodiment and service. Uranus in Gemini, that's the career sector, continues revolutionizing your work. And your professional path is being completely rewired at this time. Along with Jupiter in your 12th house, you'll continue the deep inner work through to the end of 2026. And by December, you'll feel that you've accomplished some real spiritual practice that's going to help you propel forward. These are not just intellectual beliefs, but actual daily disciplines that keep you connected to, the bigger picture. You're learning to rest without guilt, to trust without controlling, and to surrender without checking out. That Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house will continue doing their transformational work for the remainder of the year. Pluto in Aquarius is grinding through your 6th house. That also has to do with your health. And it transforms your relationships with work and daily routines as well. Your health routines are going to be revolutionized with this transit. The old approaches and beliefs that you had about wellness will start to change. You're more open and you want to find out more about holistic opportunities to improve your well-being and longevity. The year's closing message is that it's your death/rebirth year. So you're a new person. Changes that you're going to experience now, really focus on getting rid of that focus on perfectionism and just relaxing a little bit. You're learning that your worth isn't earned through service, perfection, or usefulness. It's inherent in your very existence. So by the end of 2026, fingers crossed, you're going to understand the most perfect thing you can be is perfectly human. And what is that? Flawed, evolving, and beautifully imperfect. That's where your real power is going to arise this coming year, 2026, Virgo. Good luck. I hope it's successful for you. And you can always reach out to me here on this platform if you need some help. Take care. Good luck. And I look forward to your company in the coming months. Bye-bye.